Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. You've downloaded episode 91 of We Got This with Mark and Hal, and I'm giving thanks to you for doing so. But I want you to do something else that will allow me to give you thanks, and that is rating and reviewing the show on iTunes. We've had so many new listeners come to the show over the course of the last year, and if you've been enjoying what you're hearing, which I think you are because you keep coming back, we'd really appreciate it if you tell other people about it by leaving a nice review and rating on iTunes. And now, unbuckle the top part of your pants, or don't, whatever you need to do to stretch out after you've had a long meal with lots of food in it, and enjoy episode 91 of We Got This with Mark and Hal. And don't fall asleep. Don't let the turkey let you fall asleep. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Hey, it's Ken Plume, producer of We Got This. Hal Lublin just fell asleep. Enjoy We Got This.
Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all. Best pie.
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcasts should have a theme song. Podcasts should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it. You know what? You're right. We got this.
Hello, Hal.
Hello, Mark. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, my friend.
No, I said it first. You happy Thanksgiving.
I can't tell. We are in two different cities that we're not usually in, so it's a bit like when one of the reporters is in Kabul. So I'm in Kabul.
And I'm here in Los Angeles. Did I wait long enough? I was listening to news coverage recently, and it's 2016, and we still have that damn gap. Like, surely I carry an entire computer in my pocket, and we can't figure out that gap?
I think that gap, I don't think that the newscasters necessarily care about that gap. I think the toss-up was between, okay, we can either make the gap shorter or keep the gap the same length and have to carry less equipment. I think they opted for the latter.
That's our loss, their laziness.
Nah, I kind of like the gap. It gives me a second to think about, what's he going to say? Or she. Don't mean to be sexist.
It's never that interesting. But we're here because Meg Brophy has asked us what I think is a Thanksgiving appropriate question, which is, what is the best pie?
Great.
And we have a guest here. He is Colt Cabana. He is the host of his own podcast called The Art of Wrestling. And he has a new film called Wrestling Road Diaries 3, which is now available. And he's actually here in the studio with me. Colt, welcome.
Hello. I'm
oh man, I'm so jealous.
As you should be.
I know.
Because we have an assortment of pies throughout this whole studio.
Yep.
There's like 25 of them. We've just been going at it for a while.
We look like those kids in Stand By Me right before all the vomiting began. It was one kid. It was one fat kid and old people.
But we both can play the part.
Yeah.
We both tried out for the part.
We decided to switch off. We're doing it in rep right now.
Yeah.
You're doing it in rep with True West.
Yes, exactly. We just draw pies out of a hat, and those are the ones that we decide to eat. But now, Colt, you were telling me beforehand that you hate Thanksgiving food.
I hate it.
Why?
Everything about it. I don't know. I like, it's just like, so your main thing is that turkey, and it's just, who likes like big chunks of dried turkey? You know, it's usually dried. And then like the seconds are what? No, I mean, I don't really want sweet potatoes. There's the red thing that I don't even like. Cranberries, right?
Yeah.
Cranberry sauce.
I don't want that. I don't want gravy. I mean, what else is there? It's just, this is just.
Colt, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Chicago, Illinois, to a Jewish family in the suburbs of Chicago. And yeah, I feel, I don't know, there's a disconnect. And you tell me, Hal, is there a disconnect between like Judaism and Thanksgiving? Like it's not for Jews, or is it?
Well, look, anytime there's an opportunity for all of us to sit together and eat and complain, we're going to do that.
The idea of it.
I think I figured out the disconnect. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Colt, he is a professional wrestler. And I know there are a lot of different body shapes in the world of professional wrestling, but Colt is in pretty good shape. So you keep a fairly strict diet.
Yeah.
Did you always as a child?
No, I was a fat kid as a child.
Oh, well, I'm a fat man.
Oh, wow.
I'm what you could have been. So I'm sort of the ghost of alternate Christmas, or Thanksgiving future for you.
Nice.
So did you?
We all did our time in husky pants.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah. Mark, you were a heavy at one point. Like, here's the thing. I know
I was a fat college kid.
right. And I know you went through like
Yeah.
heavy and not heavy even out in LA after I met you. But you've been,
Oh yeah, I'm back up to heavy now.
you're not. I just
I like to
saw
mix
you.
things up.
Oh, congratulations.
No, right now Mark looks like old man Logan, like in the best possible way. He looks like distinguished Hugh Jackman. That's what he looks like. I don't think Hugh Jackman's fat, although Fat Wolverine would be great.
Mm.
Oh, I'd watch Fat Wolverine. Snicked. Oh, what's the point?
Snirk.
He just uses his blades as forks.
Yeah, he'd be great for Thanksgiving. Just picking up stuff.
If one of them made a fork and one of them made a knife,
But also I figure like he's like going in for the stab and he, with on 4 of those stabs, it's like there's a different thing on each stab.
Yeah.
And then now he's got 8
That's
different
true.
things. Yeah.
He's making shish kebabs.
He would be great at Thanksgiving or Old Country Buffet.
oh, I loved Old Country Buffet.
When is the last time you went to one?
Old Country Buffet?
Yeah.
Probably 10 years ago.
Yeah?
And I got a feeling a lot of people will be going there on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that sounds recent.
Do you think that's recent, Mark? When's the last time you went to one?
I feel like I went to Old Country Buffet when I was a kid, but I've graduated to Sizzler since then. Come on, Colt.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't Old Country. Maybe it was Old Country Buffet adjacent.
Yeah, or like home style buffet.
Something like that.
They're all, man, the first time I went to one of those, I was like, wait, I don't have to stop?
Oh, you and I both.
Yeah. It's like the opposite of therapy.
And especially as being Jewish, it's just like, I want to get as much value as I possibly can.
Yeah.
So it's not even about like eating well. It's just about eating as much as you humanly possibly can. And that's dangerous.
Yeah. Otherwise you've wasted money.
Correct.
Wait, you spent $9.99 and you're only going to have 3 helpings of roast?
Right.
That was, Juliana and I just went to when we were working in Myrtle Beach last year, we went to this big seafood buffet. It was like, $25 to go to this big seafood buffet. And we did not leave until we had eaten. We had created a massacre in an ocean somewhere just based on the amount of food we felt compelled to eat. And we really, even though there were moments when we wanted to throw in some vegetables and carbs, we were like, no, seafood is expensive. We have to only eat the seafood.
Yeah.
I would have loved a hush puppy.
I'm glad that you ate the entire cast of Finding Dory. Great job. My buddy Jordan Crane, who lives in Chicago now as well.
Jordan.
And he and I first bonded over wrestling.
Nice.
So he used to have a move when he would go to Las Vegas because he was not a gambler and he didn't really spend money on shows. He would go for a lunch buffet, and at the time they would not kick you out. So he would eat lunch and then just wait for dinner to come out.
This is a move I know well.
Yeah.
Also, dare I say, that's a bit of a gamble.
Is it?
He is a gambler.
Why is that a gamble?
Well,
Why is that? What makes that a gamble?
Well, I mean, he's gambling with the security, not throwing him out. He's gambling with his health and health issues at the time.
Sure.
Yeah, he didn't look like a guy.
If he's going to be there at any point during the tail end of the lunch service, he's gambling with whatever that sneeze guard didn't catch.
Right?
Those things aren't really helpful because it's the hands that get dirty. Like somebody will sneeze and then wipe their nose with their hand and then reach back in for a roll. They'll do it. You're looking at me weird right now, Colt, but it happens.
Yeah, for me, it's just out of sight, out of mind. I don't even want to know.
Fair enough.
Don't even tell me, and then I'll eat it all.
So no black lights at the buffet for you.
Oh, please.
Oof. Yeah, that'd be the worst CSI crime scene ever.
Yeah, it would look like one of those laser
a show that
tag
took
arenas.
place in Vegas.
Yeah. All right, we're getting.
Let me ask you though. The reason I would like to get to the reason I asked where you had grown up, and I wonder. I'm trying to get to the root of your dislike of Thanksgiving food. And one of the gripes that I have had with Thanksgiving food in the past is I do like food somewhat spicy. I like spicy cuisines, and there really isn't a lot of spice in Thanksgiving food.
Yes. Bland. When I think of Thanksgiving food, I think of blandness.
I was just curious, but we are here to talk about pie.
Okay,
All right.
fair enough. Pie we will discuss. Do you like pie?
No.
Colt? No pie at all?
No. I mean, what?
Who are you?
Well, first of all, I spend a lot of time in England, and when I think of pie, I think of, what's the pie they have?
Shepherd's pie.
Shepherd's pie. And
Yeah,
that's
that's
just
right out.
gross.
Sure.
Mhm.
And also, right, as a, not a bodybuilder, but a guy who's conscious about my body, like these are extra carbs and extra stuff that I just don't need. A mincemeat pie.
Right.
Gross.
Yeah.
Just gross. I mean, a good pie to me is a pizza pie. Right?
Yeah.
Or French silk pie from Baker's Square in Chicago.
What is that?
That's
It's like a chocolate mousse pie.
yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Chocolate mousse. It's like chocolate pudding mousse. I mean, these are the pies I like.
Yeah.
I mean, why can't you just have the stuff that's in the pie just out in the world and eat all that?
Well, you can. It's called the Boston Market sweet apples or sweet cinnamon apples, where it's just like, let's not bother with all the crust.
Yeah.
Just have a giant bowl
and
of this.
that's what Cracker Barrel has always done, is served apple pie middles as a breakfast side.
Oh, yeah. So I went to a Cracker Barrel recently, not that recently, within the last year, 2 recently.
10 years.
And, I was like, at the time I was like completely vegetarian and really trying to stick to it. But the group I was with wanted to go to Cracker Barrel. I was like, all right, I'll get some scrambled egg whites, and I see apples. It's on their healthy menu. So I'll order that. And it wasn't even like pie stuffing. It was like somebody had taken pie stuffing and beaten it in the back of an alley and then brought it out to me. It was like wrinkled and weird and terrible. Like, that's on their healthy menu.
Yeah, but most importantly,
That's because you showed up between the lunch and the dinner shift.
Right.
And he won the game of the golf tees that you put in a Cracker Barrel.
Yeah. I made it all the way to Simpleton. Yay me. But all right. So there are so many different kinds of pies out there.
Before we get into pies,
Yes,
I'm sorry.
please.
Can I share my Boston Market story?
Yes.
I wish you would.
My Thanksgiving Boston Market story. Now, I've been a wrestler since I was 18.
Just got sadder.
I've been a wrestler since I was 18 years old, but I had to have, after I graduated college, I had to have a job, and I worked as a teaching assistant. And I was 22 years old. I was the youngest guy there. I didn't care about teaching or anything. I just needed a job to support my wrestling habit. And there was everyone bring something for Thanksgiving. It was just all these older women and all these moms. And they were like, Colt, what are you going to cook? What are you going to cook? I was like, oh, don't worry. I got something. And I'm sweating it. And then I realized, what's my favorite food of all time? It is the Boston Market sweet potato casserole. With the marshmallows and the cinnamon.
Yeah.
And so I went there and I bought a Tupperware's worth of sweet potato casserole. I put it in my mom's Tupperware and I presented it to these women at the school. And I won the award. They're like, Colt, what is the recipe? I was like, can't give it away. Can't give it away. Like, I sweated night and day to make this for you. You better appreciate it.
Meanwhile, the long receipt they give you is sticking out of your pocket.
Yeah, right? It's like, who wants cornbread?
Ooh, how do you make them so individualized like this, Colt? They're lovely.
Colt, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You just said that you hate all Thanksgiving food, and then you described as your greatest favorite food of all time, one of the quintessential Thanksgiving foods.
Yes. So
sweet potatoes with marshmallows on top.
Well, only from Boston Market. They make it so good that it's just sugared potatoes.
Yeah.
So when I've gone, or my parents have made it, or family members or friends, it's never like that. And I assumed I had never really eaten it before Boston Market, and someone was like, you gotta try these. I was like, no, thank you. Not into sweet potatoes. And then I tried those and I was like, oh my God, this is like crack. And then everything afterwards, I swear it's only Boston Market. So I understand. I understand while telling that story that I was going to get some from you, some slack for bringing it up, but it's literally only Boston Market.
All right.
You know what? I appreciate you bringing it up anyway.
Yeah. It was worth it.
Thank you for your candor. Yeah. I'm glad you got that confession off of is that the first time you told that story?
No, that's a go-to, I think.
The time I fooled a bunch of kindly teachers. Yeah. Okay. So let's dig into pies for a second. And
why Colt hates them? Are you going to be the naysayer on all of our pies, Colt?
Well, I'll tell you what, you guys are going to be talking about your pies, and maybe like I'll get a flashback and be like, ooh, maybe I do like that, or maybe it sounds good. But right now in my head, I'm thinking mincemeat and shepherd's pie from my time in the UK, and it just sounds gross to me.
Let me throw out an idea then. Because frequently on this show, one thing we like to do to weigh our decisions is pros and cons. How about we'll go through each of the types of pie, like the real contenders, the ones, there's a lot of pies that aren't going to make the top of the list, but let's go through the real contenders. Hal and I will give the pros of each pie, and Colt, you just lay on the cons of every one of these pies.
Okay, but the cons are just going to be me going, ugh.
That is the Jewish response. That's how you know we don't like something. Mark, let me jump onto that with an addendum, okay?
Okay.
I would like to eliminate a couple of large swaths of pie, including.
Do you mean with a knife and fork and a table?
Yeah, and my mouth and my ever expanding belly. No, I want to eliminate. To me, when I think of pie, I don't think of chicken pot pie. I don't think of mincemeat or shepherd's pie. I do not think of a pizza pie because that feels like the technicality. Mm. So to me,
okay. I would agree that pizza pie feels like a technicality.
Yeah.
We're talking about dessert pies.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay. But I would like to give an honorable mention before you cut them out completely, because I do enjoy an English proper pie.
No.
America, we have Hot Pockets, which is the closest thing.
I will not allow it.
Okay. My mind has just been blown because I thought we were talking about those kind of pies because I assume that's what's on Thanksgiving. So we're talking dessert pies?
Yes.
Okay. I'm back in a little bit.
How could you hate dessert pies?
Because I think of awful Thanksgiving food and I think of these turkey pies are a thing of Thanksgiving. I don't really look at the table too much because I'm always really salty when I'm there and I just have my mom order me Chinese food.
What kind of Chinese food are you eating at the table?
I don't know. I just remember as a kid, they'd always order me something else besides Thanksgiving. I'm a very picky eater.
Hold on a second. How did you get away with that?
Just that's who as a kid, I only ate hot dogs, salami, and pizza and corned beef. That's all I had for 10 years.
Well, I hate to tell this to my wife, but I think I found my soulmate because I am notoriously a picky, I eat to this day, not hard to tell, eat like I'm 7 years old. Very limited menu of things that I like. Yeah. And I try to expand it. My wife, bless her heart, who is a wonderful person, has helped expand that somewhat, but I don't drink soda, never have. Don't like the carbonation. I can't keep it.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, I have plenty of things I like to eat that are bad things, including pies. But yeah, we're talking about dessert pies here.
Okay, and now I've got a whole another theory on pies.
Okay.
So,
okay.
I mean, do you want to hear it or no?
Yes, of course.
That's why we both stopped talking.
Yeah, sorry. Hey, don't put your fruit with your dessert. Not interested. I don't want to mix my fruits in my chocolates. And I don't want nuts in my chocolates either. You should be ashamed of yourselves. And that's why the French silk pie is the king of the pie.
Right, but
so wait, you're saying that there should not be fruit pies at all, or there should not be combination fruit and chocolate pies?
Both. Apple pie, gross. Peach pie, gross.
Whoa!
Strawberry pie.
Hang on a minute.
What?
Watermelon pie, gross.
What?
First of all, who's eating watermelon pie?
Now you're going insane.
You're just making up things.
You do not put
Also, if you're making a watermelon pie, if it goes in the oven for 5 minutes, you have a bowl of watermelon soup. It is called a watermelon. It's not going to make a good pie.
That sounds good, actually. I might be into some watermelon soup.
Yeah. Well, when we do best,
you're going to make us order that for you from the Chinese restaurant while we're having pie on Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Number 43, watermelon soup.
Watermelon soup.
Okay. Well, look, it looks like we're going to be diving pretty hardy into desserts, and we've already got some battle lines drawn. So before we really dig in, and I know we've been talking about pies for so long in this episode, let's take a brief break and hear from some of the other great shows and events coming up from the Maximum Fun Network. How does that sound?
I think that sounds great.
Hello, Internet. I'm your husband host, Travis McElroy.
And I'm your wife host, Teresa McElroy.
And together we present Schmanners.
It's extraordinary etiquette.
For ordinary occasions.
We explain the historical significance of everyday etiquette topics, then answer your questions relating to modern life.
So join us weekly on MaximumFun.org or wherever podcasts are found.
No RSVP required.
Check out Schmanners.
Schmanners. Get it?
Creativity, comedy, and new friends are waiting for you at Max FunCon 2017. Max FunCon West returns to Lake Arrowhead in June, and Max FunCon East is back in the Poconos in September. Don't miss a stellar lineup of hilarious comedians, live podcast recordings of your favorite Max Fun shows, and an embarrassment of amazing classes to choose from. Tickets for Max FunCon East and West go on sale Friday, November 25th. Don't miss your chance to be part of an unforgettable weekend. Visit MaxFunCon.com to buy your tickets on November 25th.
Welcome back, you guys.
Yes, welcome. The lines have been drawn. You've already come out, Colt. Our guest, Colt Cabana, if you're just joining us in the middle of the podcast. Who are you? But look, there are some people who do things in weird orders. There's been a line drawn. You're basically saying, if my pie does not have chocolate and chocolate alone in it.
Chocolate, caramel, whipped cream, vanilla.
Yeah. So you want to melt a Snickers bar and then put it on a piece of bread, and that's pie. See? There's that inner fat kid. Come on out to play.
There it is.
Come on, little Colt.
Yeah. Whew. Did you just make a grilled cheese but replace the cheese with a Snickers? Because that's kind of brilliant.
Happy to. I'll try that all. I'll try it all. As long as you don't put a strawberry in there, we're good to go.
Even as a garnish? Do you hate that?
No, I'm okay with that. Just do not mix those worlds.
Wow.
Can I tell you what is great? Is that I'm always Colt. I am always willing to show deference to our guest in a situation like this. You do realize you have eliminated all but one pie 20 minutes into this episode.
The French silk?
Yes.
We can't let this stand.
Well, there's double chocolate. There's
I don't think we can let this stand. Wait, there's double chocolate. There's turtle.
Yeah. There's what's the caramel gold medal ribbon ice cream pie?
Wow, that I've never.
I do. You know what? I do like an ice cream pie. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of a frozen pie. So you like a frozen pie?
Mm-hmm.
So that's like a Snickers pie,
as long as there's no terrible fruit in it.
Correct.
It's like somebody doesn't try to sneak a grape into the middle of your ice cream pie. Those bastards.
Is it? I still want to wrap my head around this. Is it because you are a fit guy? And a former fat kid, now fit kid. Is it something about, I don't want anything healthy in something that I am calling dessert? If this is dessert, it's about indulgence. Fruit is healthy. Therefore, fruit does not belong in dessert.
That could be it, but I just feel I don't want the tanginess. Like, I love the richness of a chocolate or a caramel or a vanilla, and I don't want that tanginess to throw it off.
So then,
yes, I hate a tang pie. Correct.
Yeah. Would also be liquid because tang is liquid as well. Now, if you pour the tang powder into your watermelon soup pie, could be delicious.
I think that would cause an explosion, wouldn't it? I think I saw that on Mr. Wizard.
Mr. Wizard.
Where do you sit then?
At the end of the table.
Okay, fantastic. Right. When you're having your Chinese food and it's pie time.
Oh, at the children's table.
Yeah, at your children's table.
Because I'm eating like a child.
Yeah, you have to sit not at the children's table, but at like one of those kindergarten tables where your knees are like a foot above the table. Mm-hmm. Even to this day, you must do that. That is the law of Chicago. How do you feel about pecan or pecan?
No, because I don't want nuts in my pie either.
Really?
Yeah. I don't want nuts.
Oh, man.
I don't want nuts with my don't get those nuts out of the brownies. Get those nuts out of the sundaes. I love nuts by himself. And I'm saying that, whichever way you want to take that.
Sure. It's 2016.
Because they are healthy.
Yes.
Nuts by themselves are healthy.
Yes. Fruit by themselves.
They should not be added to an unhealthy thing. Does the idea that something could be both healthy and not healthy confuse you, hurt your feelings?
this is where I'll put a stop to that, because when I'm on a cheat day, I'll get grilled chicken pizza.
Okay.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I'm
Pizza
like, I
bad
need-
for you, grilled chicken good for you.
Because I'm like, oh, I'm eating well. I'm getting protein. I'm getting in my grilled chicken.
I retract my line of questioning.
No, I want to pick that up because I think you're onto something there. Because now we're talking, I get with the cheat day, you put chicken on the pizza and you feel like you've added something healthy to it. But when you get to a dessert, you are never looking for, if you're just going for, I just want to have something that's delicious. You don't want any vestige of healthiness or nutrition. You don't want to have to deal with that, right?
Yeah, probably because anything healthy in your mind never tastes as good as Oreo cookies or any kind of, sure, maybe. I'm with you. But it's just, if nuts and fruit tasted as good as chocolate and Oreo cookies, then they wouldn't be what they are.
Right.
They'd be
Colt, if I handed you an Oreo cookie and if I handed you, let's say you didn't know what an Oreo cookie was and I handed you one and you ate it and I told you it was healthy, would it taste worse than if you knew it was bad for you?
100%.
This is blowing my brain in half.
I know.
Just like I hate everything from the sea. Anything from the sea, I do not eat. And if I eat it, and then all of a sudden someone's like, hey, you know that was tuna, right? I'll be like, I'll start throwing up.
Even if you didn't know that it was tuna to begin with.
Correct. And even if I ate it, I was like, that wasn't bad.
You'll just start walking around like a dog going,
yeah, it'll be the grossest thing so a lot of it's in my head.
Oh, well, we've got to get past this because I feel like I will,
we don't. Screw Best Pie. I want this whole episode to be about the psychology of healthy versus unhealthy food.
I think that's what this whole episode is. That's the journey we're taking.
For Colt's weird eating
It
habit.
really is.
Yeah. So let's go.
This is just the Colt eats weird.
But here's the other thing too. Like, I think what makes a great pie, filling aside, if you love the filling, assume that's equal everywhere. Same filling. The crust is really what makes
That's
the
a
pie.
bold statement with this guy.
I know. I know it is, but I'm going to say it. The crust is what really makes the pie because you could have an apple pie, say, which I love. I grew up, my father loves apple pie, so I love it. And he's also a chocolate fiend. And he's not looking to have any fruit up in his chocolate.
Yeah, I'm with him.
But like what makes a great apple pie is the crust has to be good. It can't be salty. It's got to be a little flaky, but not too flaky, not too buttery. Like it's really tough to get right. Do you feel like maybe partially because you have written it off so quickly that maybe you haven't had a great apple pie?
I will agree in saying the crust makes everything in the pie.
Okay. And
Okay.
that's it.
That's it. I mean, you put apples in it.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Are we only talking about pies that use a flaky, buttery crust? Because I'm a huge fan of the graham cracker crust pie.
Well, didn't we not talk about my love for French silk pie? Because that's what it is.
French silk pie has a graham cracker crust,
Yeah.
right?
It's very important to have it good. And that's one of my favorites is the graham cracker.
Oh, here's a great pie. Mark, did you have back in the day, and they don't make this anymore, Jerry's Famous Deli, which is a pseudo chain out here, had it was a cherry pie, and I like cherry pie. I like that cherry filling. If you had the cherry filling on its own, if Boston Market gave it to you, you'd love it. It's
correct.
It's packed into like a cookie shortbread, like a Hamantaschen, like that same kind of dough. That forms the edge and the floor of the pie, and then it's all cherry on top, and then they crumb up that style of dough and put it on top. It's so good.
I do always
like a cherry
remember loving
Hamantaschen.
that pie.
Yeah. Do you like a cherry Hamantaschen?
No. I mean, I'll eat these things. I'll eat them. But I want that chocolate, baby.
I just imagine you eating it like, I guess I'll have another bite of this dumb cherry pie.
Yeah, I'm a little salty about it. I will be.
Let me ask you guys about the Oreo cookie crust. We've mentioned Oreos a couple times. Do you like the Oreo crust?
Now you're talking.
We found it. So let me say this: a cookies and cream frozen ice cream pie with a Oreo crust, maybe a little French silk pudding mousse on top as a dollop.
Whipped cream. Throw some whipped cream on there.
Throw some whipped cream on there.
Maybe
I'm
some
feeling you. A little
sprinkles.
shaved chocolate.
I'm a big fan of the sprinkles.
The dark sprinkles or the rainbow sprinkles?
I've been eating a lot of birthday cake protein bars and protein cookies recently, and they have sprinkles in them.
I just saw those at the office where I work.
Yeah.
And I went, what?
Oh, I'm the guy that goes, yeah.
Finally.
Hold on a second. Colt, I have to call foul on this. You have been talking this entire time about how you don't like to mix healthy food with bad for you food. And you just told us that you're the guy that's bringing birthday cake protein bars to the world. Explain yourself, sir.
This was your theory. My theory is...
This is a very good point.
Also, birthday cake, yeah, like, there's no fruit in it. It's just all kind of just pastry stuff. It's bakery stuff.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Well, I'll tell you what we should do. Since you don't like fruit pie, we're the three of us are going to take this journey together. We'll keep the silk pie around. I would like to keep the pecan pie around because it's classic. And I came to it later in life. Again, I married a woman from the South. So I didn't really experience great Southern cooking until I first met her family. And
they took you to Boston Market?
Well, they took me to Boston Market. And man, I just got the pecan filling with some marshmallows on it and I was all set. No, like I discovered pecan pie and it's so good. And I was like, why have I waited this long to eat it? What stopped me? And it was all homemade. So I'd like to keep that around for now because generally what we do on the show when we have a lot of choices is we get to some finalists and then we face them off against each other.
Great.
So no fruit pie, no key lime, no lemon meringue.
No, not
these
interested.
These are abominations to you.
I don't know what that word means, but I don't like them.
You don't find it, but that's not even healthy. They're curds.
Curds and whey?
They're curds and whey. They look like Ghostbuster slime.
It's just,
how is that healthy?
It's I don't care if it's healthy. It's tangy and I don't want it. I'll eat it, but I don't want it.
Wow.
So the tang is it sounds like what you are looking for in a pie is hold on a second. I just had a thought. Let me pitch you one of my favorite pies, and it is a pie that my mother makes.
Okay. Shark Tank style.
Shark Tank style. Let me pitch you this pie. Who's going to purchase for a 10% stake and $200 million?
Mm-hmm.
It's a pudding based pie with a graham cracker crust.
Sounds great already.
Right? You with me so far?
Oh, unbelievable.
Fruit, but not tangy. Banana Nilla wafer pie.
Whoa. Now, I think that might be, I think bananas are the one, I don't know what the word, like the one that's like, that got away, the one that got away.
It's the exception to the rule.
Yeah, because first of all, I love Nilla wafers. Don't get me started on those. Let's make a pie out of those. Yeah. And there's something about banana that almost mixes into the vanilla chocolate kind of world. Like I do like a banana pudding.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't judge it on a different kind of fruit pudding.
So would a banana cream pie?
The banana cream pie, the savior of many a Muppet sketch and many a classic clown routine. In addition to being a delicious pie, could we have maybe reached a consensus in the world of the fruit pie versus the silky tartless pie?
I don't know about a consensus, but maybe like that'll be the middleman. Like banana will walk over and be like, "Hey, Colt, like all of us, we know you hate us, but come on, let's be friends." I'll be like, "Fine, banana."
It's the Switzerland of pies.
There it is. There it is.
Well, then let's, all right. Can I eliminate two right now?
As long as they got fruit in them.
All right. One is pumpkin. The other is sweet potato.
Oh, pumpkin's so gross.
Okay.
So I've gotten rid of like two of the classic, Thanksgiving pies.
Pumpkin for me is too dense.
Yes.
A pumpkin pie is too, there's like one slice of pumpkin pie feels like, oh man, this is going to take me an entire Detroit Lions game to eat this one piece of pie.
It's a lot of work to get through. Like I agree with you. Like you get to a certain point where you should never be eating a piece of pie and go, am I done? You should never have to ask yourself that.
Ugh. Yeah. Are you guys, quick sidebar, are you, more about the filling or more about the crust or more about the ratio?
I'm all about the base. No trouble.
Yeah. I feel you. Yeah.
I am a filling guy. There has to be good crust, but like, look, if you if I get like a hot, like a warm slice of cherry pie, I want the ice cream to be mixing with, I like when you get like a really dense, really frozen, scoop of vanilla ice cream and then it slowly melts and then you get like that mix. So it tastes like whipped cream and apples or whipped cream and cherries.
I know this feeling from when I do that on top of a brownie.
See?
Vanilla ice cream and a brownie.
Exactly.
But
same
with nuts
sensation.
in it.
No nuts. Come on. Just ruining a perfectly great thing.
Yeah.
For me, it's the ratio. When a piece of pie comes to my table, if it looks like an arrow pointing at me, I will turn it around and start crust side first.
Ooh, and that's how they started the cheese-filled pizza crust at Pizza Hut.
Oh, that's your fault, Mark?
Yes.
Come on.
Yep. You're welcome, guys.
Thank you.
All right. So let's talk about, who are the finalists. We've eliminated, most of the fruit pies.
Yep.
Sorry, listeners who enjoy fruit pie, but the Colt has spoken and he's a professional wrestler and we don't want him to beat us up.
Thank
you. The ones, we've eliminated pumpkin and sweet potato, because, screw Thanksgiving.
Wait a minute.
And,
did you say we eliminated fruit pies?
Yeah. Most fruit pies.
Most of them. Okay. Thank you. I was getting ready to get my butt kicked right here in this studio. I do not like the way you are looking at me right now, Colt. Please.
So
I better turn away.
So what is left in contention? For me, the ones that I want to, if we each get to bring a couple into the finals, one or two, the one that I want to bring into the finals definitely is, the banana cream pie with vanilla wafers.
Okay.
And I'm going to put in there, I know it will be eliminated. For me, it's tough. It's a toss up because I want to save one of the fruit pies and put it in here. I love a cherry pie.
Of course you do. They're great.
Because your nickname is Warrant.
You also love
cold drinks of water and sweet surprises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marky Warrant.
But I feel like just in the interest of Americana, I'm going to throw into the finals the banana cream pie and the apple pie a la mode.
Okay. I have a couple things to say before I bring some stuff into the finals. First of all, as a shout out to my native Pennsylvania, the shoe fly pie, which I think you would enjoy, because it's essentially brown sugar and molasses in a crust.
Sounds interesting.
It's pure sweetness, and of course it has its name because the Amish had to shoo the flies away, or the German, the Pennsylvania Dutch. So they were German.
Is that combination the gelatinous part of a pecan pie?
Sort of. I think it's sweeter. I think it's much sweeter because it doesn't have the pecans, the nuts in it to cut the sweetness. Right. So it's the most pure version of a pecan pie that you would enjoy, but it's gone.
It's the most pure version of instant diabetes.
Yeah. Blueberry pies are gone because of Stand By Me. They make us all think of vomit. The peach pie is gone because, come on, really? Just be an apple pie.
If you're gonna, just make a peach cobbler.
Here's the thing. By the way, Julian Burrell, who's sitting in on the board, who is the producer of Tights and Fights, just gave me some hard side eye for tossing the peach, aside. But too bad. The strawberry rhubarb pie, what are you people thinking? When will you wake up and realize that rhubarb is just red celery and it does not belong in a pie, even with strawberry there to try to mask it?
Listen, everybody, don't tell Hal. If Hal can't hear you right now, I'm with you. I love strawberry rhubarb pie, but I don't want Hal or Colt to beat me up. And I think that one would hold me while the other did it.
I mean, if you think I didn't want nuts or fruit in my pie, vegetables? Vegetables?
Right? Yeah. Thank you. No. I say thee nay. So did you grab the apple pie? Is that right?
I grabbed the apple pie.
All right. I'm going to take the cherry pie and the pecan pie.
Oh, good.
Those are the two that I would bring. And are you bringing just your chocolate silk pie?
French silk pie. And I'm going to throw in one that we haven't touched upon.
Hello.
And maybe you guys can help me figure out the best formation of it.
Sure.
Because this is another food type that we have not touched upon, which I love. almost like the banana, I almost forgot, a peanut butter pie.
Oh,
Ooh, yeah.
And like, I'm thinking,
I usually lump that with a chocolate pie though, because I would not think of just peanut butter pie.
well, I'm thinking Burger King Reese's Pieces pie that they sell, which is kind of like a
Are
chocolate.
all of your all of your favorite foods from mass market restaurants?
See, we're learning now.
Oh
Because they
man.
know they're not into that. They're not like trying to make it healthy. It's like, let's make this as awful for you as possible and ship it out to the fatties. And that's what I want in a pie.
Isn't that Burger King's new slogan? Ship it out to the fatties.
Yes.
How about,
Man.
they're the ones that have like, they have like the Whopperito, which is like
Of course they do.
it's the Whopper, but in a burrito wrapper with, I think, like a cheesy core, like they've just poured liquid nacho cheese into it.
You know what? I've changed it now to the Whopperito pie. It's my other one I'm bringing.
Have you seen those things that they put, like, a lot of them are on Facebook where they're like, hey, we figured out how to make you fat quicker, where they take like, I made a cheeseburger pie. Here's what you do. You take like 9 cheeseburgers, then you put all the fries in, then you pour Russian dressing on.
Well, the king is Epic Mealtime, I think.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm a big fan of.
So they make these giant, unbelievable, things. I'm sure there's a pie there that would be in contention, but
So for me, it's French silk pie. And then I think like if I could even say like a Reese's Pieces chocolate and peanut butter pie.
sure you can.
Okay.
All right.
So now we have 6 pies,
yes.
and we're going to go through one at a time and eliminate these pies.
All right.
Well,
Who will begin?
Well, I feel like we should make sure that our guest gets the final choice.
well,
Sure.
I mean, you're not going to sway me away from old trusty French silky, you know?
Yeah. So,
Then you know what? Let's make things interesting. I'll start with eliminating the first pie. French silk.
Great. I didn't see that coming.
So I will go next. I'm going to eliminate the banana cream. And the reason why is I think there are stronger ones, mark language, and
But you know that would have been my second.
I didn't
You
know.
know that.
You picked 2. We've just met recently. But I had a suspicion.
What were one of your fruits ones?
Oh, I'm never telling you. Here's what's left. We have a chocolate peanut butter pie. Okay. We've got cherry and apple and pecan.
They're all gross. Okay. To me, pecan is one of the grosser nuts, and I'm just not interested in it. So, like on their own, I could eat a cherry. I can eat an apple. I'm sorry, I've never eaten a cherry before in my life.
Okay.
But I do like cherry Kool-Aid or cherry flavored fruit candy.
All right.
So pecan would have to go for me.
Okay. So Mark, we are down to 3, and it's up to you. We have the peanut butter pie remaining and apple and cherry. Is that correct? Because you just eliminated
Yes.
pecan. And that means it's going to be up to me to make the final decision.
I was just going to say we want to give the final decision to our guest, so I am going to pass.
Okay. And I am going to eliminate the peanut butter pie.
Yeah, I saw that coming.
You knew that was coming. So now you will choose. And then when you are done, Colt, in the style of the show, I will issue my edict to all of the people listening everywhere and people who aren't listening who will fall under our sway soon enough.
I feel I can make it through. I'm not going to enjoy either of these, but you put a buttload of cinnamon on those apples, and I'm going to eat that apple pie. So cherry, you gotta go. Apple pie with so much cinnamon and so much sugar that you have so much diabetes that you almost croak to the floor before you even taste one of the apples is my pick for the day.
Well, then,
I did say a la mode.
Yes.
Well, that's my move. That's happened before, where
Right.
a la mode crust, and basically I smush it with the fork to squeeze those apples out of there, and then eat everything else there.
Wow. Well, people of the world, I don't think this was the episode you were expecting. Certainly wasn't the episode we were expecting, but we've taken an interesting journey through this land of ours. We've taken an interesting journey through desserts, an interesting journey through the holidays. Most importantly, an interesting journey through the mind of Colt Cabana.
Right.
who has a set of rules around the food he consumes that I both fear and greatly respect, and in a way I aspire to them. But for those of you listening, you had to know that of all the pies in the universe, and I know there are a bunch we didn't name, and I know that on Twitter you're going to tell me all about them, and I'm the one who's running the show Twitter account. You know it's not Mark, so you're just creating more work for me, especially when you tag me and the show. What are you thinking? Just pick one. That's fine. We didn't mention the pie that's your favorite pie. Too bad. Because you know that the greatest pie in the world is apple pie. We could just sit here and talk more about Colt's weird eating habits and rules. I'd love to know what he thinks about, different meats and what they're allowed to touch or not touch. His eyes just got so wide.
I love meat so much.
Yeah. We all do.
Yeah.
But after you have a giant slab of meat and you're looking for the perfect dessert, pie, the choice is simple. It's apple pie, the best pie, asked and answered. Colt, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
What a treat having you, man. This was such a blast.
In addition to, first of all, if you are a fan of professional wrestling, you're not aware of Colt Cabana, then maybe you're not actually a fan of professional wrestling. You should go see some of his work, which is out there to see all over the internet.
I'm
but
a
also,
comedy wrestler.
Yeah, you're a comedy wrestler, which is fascinating. You're also a funny person who is also a wrestler, which is probably why it works so well.
And hopefully they learn that by listening. Otherwise, they're just like, this guy's a real schmuck.
But can you tell everybody about your new film, which actually covers that topic?
We documented comedy wrestling. So I do comedy wrestling. I grabbed my two friends. One is Kikutaro from Japan. The other is Grado from Scotland. I flew them over to America and I made this independent movie by myself about independent wrestling with the help of Jack Edinger, who produced and edited it together. You know, I paid for it. I made it all happen. This is all total independent, everything, DIY. And we dissect the world of comedy wrestling. It's available for DVD and digital download, coltmerch.com. My website is coltcabana.com, at Colt Cabana on Twitter and on Instagram. And can I say that, first of all, this was so much fun to do, guys.
Oh, good. Please come back.
Also,
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel that because on my podcast, The Art of Wrestling, I tend to get open about myself as a wrestler and, you know, my struggles and the triumphs with different wrestlers. But I think this is a side that I've never really, it's a side I know about myself.
Right.
But you guys really brought out like the weirdness of my eating habits that I don't think anyone's ever really touched. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with who I am. I just don't think it's been touched upon this much. And thank you for that.
Oh, yeah.
For letting me show the world what a weirdo I really am.
Well, thank you for being open about all your weird, gross eating habits that you should feel terrible shame about, but apparently don't.
No.
You're still smiling. I don't get it. But yeah, also your podcast, Art of Wrestling, is a great podcast that people should be listening to as well. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Please come back again.
If you'll have me.
Of course. Anytime.
Absolutely.
But
we'll bring the pie.
Yes, we'll bring the pie. You'll bring the you. And maybe it will involve eating. Maybe it won't.
Oh my God. Can I blow your mind for a second?
Please.
Do you know what?
What?
I like peanut butter M&Ms.
What? Oh,
which goes against everything I just talked about.
This is unbelievable.
I know. Sorry about that.
Well, thankfully, this topic has been settled. Thank you, Meg Brophy, for suggesting it. But there's so many others out there. We would love to hear from you. What are you arguing with your friends about that you need us to settle once and for all? You can let us know via email at wegotThisPodcast@gmail.com or Facebook.com/WeGotThisPodcast.
Or you can reach out to us on Twitter at WeGotThisTweets or check out the Maximum Fun subreddit. A flame war is probably happening right now.
Thank you to our producer, Ken Plume, and our guest producer, my Tights and Fights brother, Julian Burrell, on the board. Thank you to
Thanks,
QA
Julian.
Yes, thank you. Thank you to QA engineer Jen Alba, to graphic designer Uri Kelman, and researcher Kate McManus.
And a huge thank you to Baker Square for making the best French silk pie that Chicago, Illinois has ever tasted.
Had to stick it in there.
That's fair. Thank you, as always, to our musicians, Mike Furman and Jonathan Dinerstein, for our theme song and score, respectively. And, of course, thank you to you, our listeners. Thanks for listening to us gab with Colt about pie for an hour. May we all grab banana cream pies and have the most hilarious pie fight ever. For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
And for Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin. And don't worry, everybody.
We got this.
We got this.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned.
Listener supported.